I'm here now live with British goalkeeper Neil Etheridge, who is back in the country. So first of all, Neil, welcome back to the Philippines. It's a surprise that you're here, and I'm sure the Filipino football community is really happy that you're back. But why are you here, Neil, and how does it feel coming back to the country?
It's always a pleasure coming back here. I'm not here as often as I'd like, but it's always a great, pleasure to be here. This time round it is for a vacation. See some of the beautiful wonders of the Philippines that I haven't seen before, and enjoy my time here.
And you're back with your fiance. You're staying for 3 weeks.
Yes.
Going to different beaches, so you're here to enjoy.
Yeah, just enjoy the beautiful scenery that we don't get in the UK or anywhere near it. So no, it's beautiful. I can't wait to enjoy it.
All right, we're so glad to have you here. So, Neil, let's talk about your stellar debut in the Premier League with Cardiff City. Now, you made history, of course, being the first Southeast Asian to play, in the second highest in this kind of tournament. You also had the second highest amount of saves among goalkeepers. So the list goes on and on for all your achievements. What would you say is your biggest one so far?
I guess to play in the Premier League first is a massive achievement for me and anyone who plays in it. It's the best league in the world, so that's a massive honour, and to take the responsibility for being the first Filipino, first Southeast Asian player to play in the Premier League is, it's amazing, to be honest, to actually think that that's something that can never be taken away from me. So. To then play as many games as I did, obviously, unfortunately, us getting relegated wasn't the best, but for the season that I had, I was extremely happy.
And that already is a feat in itself, so congratulations for that, Neil. But did you expect to have such an impressive debut in your first?
I don't think I did, to be honest. My first season, I didn't know whether I was going to play. I didn't know if I was going to start. All credit to everyone involved. The manager stuck by me for the whole season. To play a full season, 38 games, it was probably something that I didn't expect. But now looking back on it, it was great, and obviously to win Player of the Year at the club was a massive achievement as well.
So you're really making waves in that scene. So, of course, Neil, being in the Premier League means playing against football stars like Mo Salah, Paul Pogba, Alisson Becker, who've all played in the World Cup. What was it like playing against players like these, competing against them?
Strange at first. When you step on the field with them, you have to forget who they are and just play against 11 men and see how you do. Yeah, but it was interesting, looking back on it, these are memories that I'll create or have created that no one can take away from me. Even superstars, well, people who I classify as superstars, knowing who I am, playing against them, that's unbelievable.
Were you starstruck at first?
The first time you kind of meet them is obviously in the tunnel, and you kind of like try not to get eye contact with them. But no, I think everyone this season has seen how well I've done, and that's massive for me.
And you're making a name for yourself too.
Yeah, and it's great that I can do that and fly the Filipino flag, and people have started watching our games all around the world now, and hopefully, like I've said, hopefully it'll put Philippines on the map regarding football even more.
Neil, you had that moment with Kevin De Bruyne, and that made waves on social media. What happened there? Can you tell us more about that funny moment between you two?
We lost 2-0 in the game. I did have a very good game. He scored the first goal, which my manager was a bit disappointed that I conceded. And I said to the manager, he was disappointed after the game. He was like, "Oh, you had a great game, but you shouldn't have let the first one in." And I said, "Oh, Kevin never meant it." And Kevin was just walking off the field as we were speaking, and the manager went up to him and said, "Did you mean it?" And Kevin said, "No." And I said to Kevin, "Oh, thank goodness, because you saved me a fine there. Otherwise, the manager would have probably made me run the next day."
So that's what happened. All right, Neil, so you did mention earlier your team got relegated, unfortunately, to the English Championship. So tell us, what's next for you in Cardiff City?
Well, I've got 2 years left on my contract at Cardiff, and, we've been in the Championship before. Obviously, we got promoted 2 seasons ago. Going into this summer, it's going to be an interesting one. Moving forward, I don't know. I'm very happy at Cardiff, and my time that I've spent there has been amazing. Obviously, I understand there's a lot of speculation going on where I'm going to go next season, but at this moment in time, I'm just looking forward to my vacation and my holiday, and let it play out.
So no concrete plans yet?
There's no concrete plan. My concrete plan, at the end of the day, is going back to Cardiff when we go back for pre-season. If that changes, then it does. If it doesn't, then I'm extremely happy at the club.
Okay, Neil, let's go back to your earlier journey. You started out with Fulham, but unfortunately you didn't make the cut, right? So now you're here making history with Cardiff. How did you move forward with that experience, continue chasing your dream?
It was tough, the highs and lows of football. I left Fulham and I found it really hard to find my feet. I didn't play for a whole season. I fell out of football for 6 months. Ended up, as people know, sleeping at my mate's house, sleeping on the sofa, picking up a contract, which was tough to take. The year after that, I signed for Walsall in League One, played for 2 seasons there, and then got picked up by Cardiff. So it's a bit of a surreal story, to be honest. I've seen the lows of football, the extreme lows, and obviously last season was an extreme high, playing at the highest level.
But it's just hard work, that pays off.
Yeah, extremely hard work, and having the self-belief that I had the ability to play in the Premier League, but also the people around you make a massive, massive difference, to be honest.
Speaking of the people around you, let's talk about the Philippine Azkals. You joined the national team almost 10 years ago, and that has, of course, opened a lot of doors for you internationally. Do you think that decision helped you get where you are today?
Yeah, definitely. I've enjoyed playing for the Azkals. I've enjoyed every moment of it. There's been highs and there's been lows of that, as we all know. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to join the team for the Asian Cup in January, which was obviously disappointing for me, but I kind of needed to put myself first. Playing in the Premier League and wanting and living that dream for so long and waiting for it, and then it happened. Selfishly, I wasn't prepared to give it up, and I wanted to continue playing, and obviously it paid off. I believe that the Azkals did extremely well, to be honest, playing their 3 games, and they were very successful, even though they didn't qualify through to the next stages.
And there's nothing wrong with that, chasing your dream, but you are representing the Filipino community, making us all proud anyway. But any plans of playing again with the Azkals?
Yeah, of course. They've got a game against China coming up, and I spoke to the coach about it, and we had a long discussion in February. And I just said to him, look, after the season, I really need a break. Mentally and physically, my brain and my body is drained, and I just need to get away from football. And he respected that nicely. Of course I want to play. We've got the World Cup qualifiers coming up in September, October time, which I would love to be a part of. And I hope I get called up for it.
We all hope so, too. So, Neil, in one of your interviews, you said that you don't want to be the first and last Filipino to play in the Premier League. Do you think, who do you think, rather, has what it takes to play, if anyone? You have any names so far?
I mean, within our national team, we've got a really good national team. The Azkals are obviously improving constantly. But I'm talking about generations to come when I've retired. I don't want to be the first and the last. I want for the Philippines to grow in football. I've seen, travelling around the country, I've seen so many more people take interest, Filipinos take interest in football. And I really want to help the grassroots move forward. It's not going to be easy, I know that. But to see another player play, not even in the Premier League, but even maybe in the Championship, to kind of move forward and play, I'd be very, very happy.
All right, Neil, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us, and we hope you enjoy your 3-week stay here, your vacation for some, R&R. Thank you again, once again, Neil Etheridge.